I've been here 6 weeks, and it's been 6 weeks of learning from me. I've been learning from the program managers in UNITAR, getting an idea of the wide scope of our work. I have been meeting many of our partners, including from the UN system and the private sector. And what I feel is that there is great talent in UNITAR. There's a great commitment and a sincerity and integrity to their work. And that's very encouraging to see the enthusiasm and energy in UNITAR. I'm also struck by the potential of partnerships. The UN system heads that I have met in Geneva and in New York, and the private sector that I have been able to interact with, they all want UNITAR to help them convey the messages on peace and security, on human rights, on development, and to convert them into training modules to benefit a large number of people. So it's very potentially important, and I have enjoyed my first 6 weeks here. I'm joining UNITAR at a very important point, an inflection point in the history of development in the UN. The UN has just adopted Agenda 2030, the Climate Convention, the COP21 is around the corner. And this is a very important juncture for UNITAR, because through our training and our research and the work that we do, including our crown jewel, which is UNOSAT, we can reach out to a large number of people to convert what is theory from the General Assembly, from the Economic and Social Council, from the various platforms that we have established, and make that a living reality for the lives of millions of people. So I'm looking forward to converting that vision, which has been adopted by member states, and make that into a reality at the country level. Agenda 2030 covers lots of issues. It covers economic issues, it covers social issues, it covers environmental issues, it covers issues of peace, of creating just societies. And in all these, it has approached, Agenda 2030 has approached them in an integrated way, in a focus on engaging everyone. So I think our work in training will help in making this vision of development, which is contained in the words engagement, implementation, and integration, into a reality at the policy making level at each and every country. And that's going to be very important to make this dream of a world without poverty, to make this dream of a planet that is safe, of making the dream of prosperity, and doing it all in a spirit of peace and partnership. That is the most important lesson of what we have created through the General Assembly and what must become a reality in the lives of people. My most recent experience, first with Agenda 2030, that was really exhilarating, because the applause for the process and the applause for the outcome, not only from governments, all regions, all interest groups, but also from civil society, from academia, from every UN system, for everyone who had engaged in that process. That was a really euphoric moment, because it was a difficult 3 years when we negotiated this entire document. There were so many interests, so many competing interests, and to reach finally at an outcome which everybody applauded, that was a great sense of joy and achievement for me. But even more recently, the adoption of the Rio outcome, the future we want, which had in it the seeds for Agenda 2030, the fact that we were able to bring to Rio over 100 heads of state and government, over 60,000 people, civil society, private sector, academia, and get them all to commit to a vision of the future in sustainable development. That also was a moment of great happiness and great sense of contentment, in the sense of creating something which I have always championed in the years that I've spent in the UN. That was also a great sense of joy. So Agenda 2030 and Rio +20. These were the two very happy moments, especially the closing sessions when everything came to a culmination. To the 35,000 beneficiaries of UNITAR's programs every year, I would like to say that try to see how you can convert what you have learnt in your training programs into the spheres of influence which you occupy. It's only by impacting on the way you work, how you bring the ideas and the directions and strategies that you learn through UNITAR training and make that applicable in the work you do. It's only through that that you'll be able to amplify the good that we hope to achieve for the larger benefit of humankind. So it's through training, and it's not only the training for itself, but the impact it will make in the work that you 35,000 people do every year in various areas, from peace to greening of the economy, to environmental issues, to climate change, to development and poverty eradication in general. I think that's what's going to make a difference. And my message to all of you who've been part of UNITAR training is practice what you've learned to make a difference in the lives of people.